You're listening to the Morning Uplift, the podcast that brings you motivation and encouragement throughout your week. I'm your host, Liz Colburn. Grab your coffee, begin getting ready for your day, and join me as we discuss what it means to find the beauty in your journey. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Morning Uplift. I'm so glad to be here with you. Not only do I get to talk and be present in this moment on Monday mornings, but now I'm here joined with you on Friday mornings as well. So for those of you that are tuning in today, if you listened to the last podcast, we talked about how we had an exciting announcement. I had my husband on, and we shared with you that we're now 2 days a week. So just a little reminder, on Monday mornings will be all about those motivational mantras. I will have guest speakers on every single Monday now. And Fridays will be a topic of choice, a topic that I come at you with to make you think. A lot of times these are going to be things that I've dealt with or experienced that I'm still navigating through, and I still am trying to figure out solutions for it. And I hope that they're relatable, and I hope that they cause you to think. So that topic for today is going to be impulsive reactions. And I want to start today by just giving you the definition of what an impulse is. We all have different impulses. An impulse means a sudden, strong, and unreflective urge or desire to act. And that definition just really resonates with me because I feel like we all can tap into something in our life that just, it all of a sudden is an urge that comes on that is strong and not something that we think about. And sometimes we act or we speak faster than what we want to in that impulsive moment. And a lot of times they are surrounded by a lot of guilt and a lot of regret. So I want you to dig in deep. I'm going to give some examples of when these impulsive moments might happen, and I want this to resonate with you. Where are you at on your journey? And what kind of impulsive reactions are you struggling with today? And I'm also going to share where those impulsive points are in my life to give you an idea and to paint that picture for you. So let's think together. When you have an impulsive reaction, do your impulsive reactions mostly happen in conversation with friends or family members or significant others? Is it those moments that take you into those conversations where you say something so quick and you don't think about how it's going to be portrayed or how someone's going to take it? Is that you? Are you making impulsive reactions in your conversations? Or maybe you're a person who is having impulsive reactions in your decision making. It comes time to make this big decision, and maybe it's a small decision. It doesn't matter, but for you, when you make a decision, it comes fast. And you make that decision just so quickly. Maybe you're a yes person and you're always saying yes to people, and you never take that time for yourself, and your obligations and your commitments are piling up. Is that you? Are you impulsive in your decision making, acting super quickly? Maybe you're someone who is having impulsive reactions with your money that you're spending. You get your paycheck and it feels so good to have that money in your bank again. And the second you get that money in your bank account, it's gone because you're an impulsive spender. Oof. If you're an impulsive spender, I'm really giving you a gut check this morning. Suffering with spending money quickly and not necessarily on things you need. Okay, that might be you. Maybe it's happening in your relationships and you're bouncing to and from all these relationships. You jump in quickly before you really think about, is this a person that's right for me? You jump into that relationship. It spirals through. Maybe you have a pattern. Or is it with eating? Eating habits are impulsive sometimes. Sometimes we have these cravings that we just can't kick. Or maybe it's eating as a whole for you. you just get bored and you're eating and you're just impulsively reacting to the thought that you need to have that food in order to function, when in reality, maybe you're just thirsty. A lot of times when you're dehydrated, it comes off as hunger, or maybe you're bored and you're just grabbing the first thing that you see. Where is it for you? Where are your impulses lying? And for me, I want to walk you through what some of my impulsive points are. For me, when I'm impulsive, it comes from being defensive in conversations. So for me, when I'm talking with somebody and maybe a conversation gets a little bit deeper and I start getting defensive on something, I get really impulsive. And a lot of times I say things, I word vomit, I say things, and you know how words are. Once they come out of your mouth, you can't always take them back. And for me, that happens. And like I said, with those impulsive reactions, I feel a lot of guilt with that. I feel like I say something that I don't mean. And a lot of times I feel like it happens to people who are closest to me. And it's hard. Once words really leave these cuts, and it's really hard to take that back once you've said those words. So that's one of mine. Another one of my impulsive reactions, one of my impulsive points comes from expectations. I feel like I have expectations for how things are going to go, and I really need to work on that. Sometimes when there are plans that are supposed to happen and they change abruptly, or when someone says they're going to do something and doesn't follow through, I get really impulsive with those expectations in that moment. And my last impulsive point is when I'm hungry. I make the worst decisions, the most impulsive reactions when I'm hungry. And for those of you that are listening to this, I call that hangry. You've probably heard that term before, but I get hangry. And you cannot expect that my judgment is intact when I am hungry. It's like, feed me now. And my husband will laugh at this too, because he understands that now. For those of you that don't know me as well, or for friends, as well too. But for my husband, he knows that. He knows that I will be impulsive if I don't have something to eat first. So a lot of times, if I start making impulsive decisions or having impulsive reactions, he'll be like, let's sit down. Let's have something to eat. Here's a snack first, and let's talk about this. So if you have people in your life that know that you are impulsive in certain moments of the day, hopefully they love you enough and can be real enough with you to know what you need before you know you need it. But we make these impulsive reactions a lot of times. It could be because we're depressed or sad about a situation. It could be out of complete anger that we're acting impulsively. Or like I said before, when you get money, your impulse is just, you have that money that you didn't have, and now you just feel like you have to spend it. What circumstance for you is causing these impulsive moments to start spiraling? So I, number one, want you to be in thought. What are your impulsive points? And then I want you to really think this week about when they are starting to happen. So for some of you, you can probably think about that right away, and you're like, yes, this is my impulsive reaction. This is where it's coming from. But for some of you, I want you to spend the weekend thinking about what that is for you. And if you trust somebody in your life, you can maybe even ask them what those points are for you. What are those things that they can see in you that you might not be able to see in yourself? So if you have that impulsive reaction, I want you to think now about these different strategies to help deal with these impulsive reactions. And I want you to figure out what strategies might work for you. So here's a few to think about. The first one is walk away and think about it. So a lot of times you can do a lot by just removing ourselves from the situation and thinking it through. Because back to my definition in the beginning, it's that sudden urge to not think about something and to just do it. So what if you just tell yourself in that moment you need to walk away and you need to allow yourself that time to think? How powerful could that be in owning that moment, knowing what you need, and working on that impulsive reaction? The next one is deep breathing. So this might sound funny, and I heard this somewhere a while back, but if your impulsive reaction is in speaking, the best thing that you can do is breathe through your nose. Okay, try it once. Just breathe through your nose. you're going to realize that what happens when you breathe through your nose is that you can't speak. Whenever you breathe through your nose, and I'm sure somebody's going to email me and they're going to be like, Liz, I figured out how to do it. Okay, don't be that person. But if you can breathe through your nose and you can practice just focusing on those breaths through your nose, the reaction is that you can't have words come out of your mouth. So that is something that I'm using whenever I'm in a moment where I feel like I'm going to be impulsive with my words, is to just breathe in and to just soak in that moment and know that I can't be saying words I don't mean or hurting anybody or feeling guilty if I am breathing through my nose. So that's another strategy. Another one is doing calming activities like yoga and meditation. And it doesn't have to be this huge experience. It doesn't have to be a huge chunk of your day. But if you can just meditate for a few moments, if you can do some stretches and strengthen your body, it can move mountains in your life, just causing you, again, to focus on that breathing, but also to become stronger, mentally, and stronger in your stretching and your flexibility too. The next one is writing it down. A lot can happen in those impulsive reactions when you just get it down on paper. So instead of, going to make that impulse or speaking or acting, write it down first. Sometimes I make pro and con lists when I'm making decisions, or I just brainstorm and write everything down to get it on paper. And then you can tear it up or crumple it up and throw it away. And then it's, you wrote it down to get it out there, and now it's just gone, or at least out of your sight, and you don't have to see it again. So maybe for you this week, it's just writing those thoughts down. And the last one is in regards to money. If you are one of those people who are like, oh my gosh, that's me, I'm getting my money right away and I'm spending it impulsively, here's my tip for you. I think it's so powerful when you can give a percentage for each category of your money. Let me break that down. So when you get your paycheck, you have a certain number, you have a certain dollar amount. And instead of just paying your bills and seeing what you have left over, what if you say, my bills are going to be paid, and then this percentage is going to go into my savings account. This percentage is going to be, used to give away or donate or give to church. And then this percentage is going to be in my checking account that I get to spend this month. Whoa! Like maybe you already do that, but if you are a person that's struggling with control over your money and being impulsive with how you're spending it, think about the power that you can gain with knowing you're going into every single month with that type of mindset. So this weekend, you get 3 days until I see you and I get to talk to you again on this podcast. You're going to think about what are your impulsive points, where are they coming from, and focus in on the strategies that are going to help you. So I would love to hear from you over the weekend. Remember, you can contact me at lizcolburnbb@gmail.com. Give me your takeaways. What are you working on? What strategies are you using? Thank you so much for joining me for this week's episode of the Morning Uplift. I've been your host, Liz Colburn. I hope you join me again this coming Monday at 6 o'clock a.m. Central, live on Spreaker.com. We'll be talking to my girl, Lauren. She's going to be giving us her motivational mantra for us. Go over to the Facebook page, The Morning Uplift, and give it a like. If you missed a show, remember, you can check it out on demand at Spreaker.com or subscribe on iTunes. Thank you so much for spending your morning growing with me. God's blessings on an amazing, purpose-filled week. See you next time as we continue finding the beauty in your journey.